Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to part 2 of my vlog of the first Game of Thrones book, or the first book in the Song of Ice and Fire series. It's the first book that's called the Game of Thrones. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you haven't watched part 1, I will have it linked down below. But yeah, this is just my general thoughts on the next 100 pages, roughly, more or less, of this book. Also, I thought I would do it in this format of short clips, as you'll probably see in a minute, rather than trying to remember what happened in 100 pages, on top of what I'm also reading. So, yeah, enjoy. Hey guys, I thought I would do a vlog like this as I want to give you guys my raw emotions on what I'm reading about this book so far. Right now, Ned or Eddard Stark and King Robert are going to King's Landing with with Ned's girls, and yeah, they are just talking to each other, and it's just really interesting to hear them discussing like their hatred towards the Targaryens and all the things that they did to them and the people that they killed in their family and all the events that happened in the past. It's like real like world building stuff. It really is interesting, and it's also interesting to hear their relationship and yeah, about how they were going to be closer than friends and closer than brothers, because Robert was in love with Ned's sister. So that group of people are going to King's Landing. We see also Jon Snow and Tyrion Lannister. Not sure if that's his name. I need to look on that. As well as another group of individuals going to the wall, which is in the opposite direction of King's Landing, because the wall was in the north and King's Landing is in the south. And Tyrion continues to be an interesting character. He likes reading, and Jon even asks him why he likes reading and why he reads so much, and he's like, look at me, what do you see? And he's basically implying that because he's a dwarf, people judge him before they get to know him. So he thinks, right, my brother has a sword and my weapon is my mind. And yeah, he's a really good character. I'm looking forward to reading any section that is about him or includes him in it. And Lady Stark is staying at Winterfell and looking after Bran, and she refuses to leave his side because she thinks that if she leaves him or if she falls asleep, what if he dies when she's asleep, and she can never forgive him for, or she forgive herself for doing that. And she suspects someone to have pushed Bran, because they all know, well, everyone in Winterfell knows that Bran knows every single stone that's on the castle, and the only way that he would fall is if someone deliberately pushed him. And Jaime Lannister's name is kind of thrown out there as a possible suggestion for doing this. And I also found out that Jaime was kissing his sister. The Queen is his sister, and I'm like, okay, you might as well have a little bit of interest in this book. Why not? And yeah, they're just conspiracies going around, and everyone not liking each other but putting up with each other. And I like it how all the Stark children, including Snow, has a direwolf, and they have all named their direwolves apart from Bran. I think that Bran didn't name his direwolf yet, but I like it how they all have their own wolves and they all have different personalities. And yeah, I like that Sansa is kind of like the proper princess, and okay, we've got to obey by tradition, we've got to go to all these balls and wear all these fancy dresses and act all pretty, and just smile and wave at the crowds. And Anya Not sure if that's how you pronounce her name. I think it's Anya. She is the complete opposite of Sansa, and she's kind of like a tomboy, and yeah, she just wants to do her own thing, and she doesn't care about what anyone else thinks about her. She doesn't care about tradition or going to balls or looking pretty. She just wants to do her own thing. So yeah, that's where I am with the book right now. So I'll just record this, and yeah, I'll see you in my next little clip. Right, so I've read a little bit more of this book, and I just want to say that Joffrey is the biggest selfish piece of crap ever in a book. I mean, I think that even Draco Malfoy seems to be a saint when it compares to him. There was a scene in the book where he was trying to play big, play like a tough guy when it came to being around Sansa, who it's implied that when they come of age, they will be married to each other. And he wanted to act all big and tough around her. And when he came across Anya, I need to figure out if that's how her name is said. Probably not. But when Sansa's younger sister is fighting or play fighting with the butcher's boy, and how he like says, "Okay, I can't be beaten by a girl. I need to like stand up and try to defend myself." And then he just gets beaten up, and he basically gets his ass kicked. And how he probably runs home to mummy and starts crying, and how they make such a big deal out of it with the direwolf, you know, biting him, and he's pretty much lying and making it sound like, oh, they attacked him. And yeah, it's like, I mean, I know he doesn't want to like confess that he is like the future king, and he got won over by this event. But it's like, you didn't really have to be a dick and run home to and cry to mum, which is probably what he did. But yeah, he just seems to be the most unlikable character in any book. I'm the kind of person that likes to see the good in people, no matter what they are or who they are. But with Joffrey, I'm struggling to do that. He's just, you know, he just seems to be like a boy that's like obsessed with power, and he knows that one day he's gonna be the king, and he's gonna have all this power over people, and it gets right to his head. He really does. I just think that he's the biggest twat ever. I really do. And on a additional note, I'm finding Lady Stark's sections to be lackluster. They are okay. They're just not the most. Yeah, they're just not my favourite parts to read in this book. Hey guys, I'm in the hall at work. Hopefully you can still hear me. It's a bit noisy with films going on. But yeah, I just need to know how to pronounce certain characters' names. And there's actually so many characters as well. There's actually so many characters in this book, it's hard to keep track, but I'm doing my best. So where I am now with the book is, or what I've read so far, well, today anyway, is Jon Snow section. He's got up to the wall, which is in the north of Westeros. I think that's what it's called. I'm not really sure because Westeros hasn't really been brought up. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, the country. But the wall is where Jon aspired to be. That's where he wanted to go, and he knew that he didn't really have a future with the Starks or with the Stark family or in Winterfell. He liked it there, but he wanted to aspire to go to the wall and, to do his own thing. But I think that he had ridiculous high hopes and expectations about what that actually meant. And realistically, the Wall is a real dark and cold place. I mean, I know it's set in the snow and ice, but that's not what I mean. Everyone there, all the Night's Watch, all the people that wear the black, as it's referred to in the book, are very cruel, angry people, and they aren't all there for glory. They aren't all good people. They've had real dark and troubled lives, and they've all, as a result, been led to this structure that they have to try to defend. They aren't doing it for the glory and the fame, but they're just there because the situation of their lives has led them to that path. And Jon knows that his expectations of this has been, yeah, he thought that it was going to be more than what it was, and he's disappointed in that. Everyone is trying to, I wouldn't say beat him up, but fight him, because he's going around thinking that he's better than everyone, that he's superior than everyone, when really, in reality, all the members of the Night Watch are as one. They are brothers. They may not like each other, but that doesn't matter, because they are all there for the same reason: to protect the land from what is beyond the Wall. And yes, they may fight each other and they may dislike and hate each other, but they have to try to put that aside and to work as a team and one unit. And I think that at the end, Jon has accepted that or come to terms with that, or in some small way. And also, he's learned that Bran has woken up, because he has woken up, and Jon is really pleased about that. So that is where Jon is right now. With Ed, or Ned Stark, or Eddard Stark, or whatever, he is in King's Landing, and he has been taken to a brothel by, I wouldn't say Nine Fingers, but Littlefinger. I'm pretty sure. I'm really not sure about him as a character, but he's been taken to this place because he's been told that Lady Stark is there. And at first he thinks it's a wind up, but he goes there and he finds out that she is there, and she tells him that Bran is awake, but also has had a assassination attempt on his life, and a knife has been left at the crime scene, and this knife belongs to Tyrion Lannister, the imp or the dwarf. But this was clearly planted, as it's not in Tyrion's personality or nature to be violent, because it's been established that that's not his weapon. What his weapon is his mind, and he has there's nothing for him to gain for killing Bran. And there's also a struggle with Eddard Stark being in the hand of the king, and it's very political. Yes, it does drag a bit, but everyone's always trying to be nice with each other, but secretly I think they all are holding knives at each other's backs while smiling and being nice. But yeah, it's okay. It's not my favorite part of the book. I'm still a little bit nervous about getting through this, but slowly but surely I will. It's going to be a journey. Probably go on to next year, but yeah, I'm enjoying going through this book so far. Okay, so I have got up to page 209, and the last chapter is basically about Tyrion, as he is still in the Wall, or at the Wall, and he's just wandering around, going into Castle Black and drinking and having a laugh with people before he ultimately has to go back, presumably, not to King's Landing, that's not where the Lannisters are, but wherever the Lannisters reside in this whole world. He finds Jon Snow, up on the wall, because in order to get up to the top of the wall, they have to get in this, well, really dodgy, rickety old lift to take them up to the very top. And he's there and he's just having a discussion with Jon. And I like every time that there is a conversation between, Tyrion and Snow. It's always a really nice conversation. They're very civil and nice towards each other, and very polite as well. And Jon has been saying that he's been training some of the members of the Night Watch, with basic combat. And we find that the situation at the wall is very dire, as Tyrion has been instructed to tell his father and the Queen about the state of the wall and how it's run down, and they haven't got many people to defend the wall. It gave me the impression that they felt a little bit forgotten, that everyone was not really taking what they were doing seriously and guarding everyone against this evil entity and creatures that are beyond the wall. It kind of gave me that impression. Yeah, that's what I've read so far. That's where I'm at right now. Overall thoughts on the book so far is that it's a good book. There are some characters I enjoy more than others, and some of them I don't really care that much for. And whenever I get to their chapters, I'm like, okay, I've got to read this, so I just plow through it. And sometimes it surprises me, and sometimes it's just a drag, and I just want to get through it to get to the next interesting character. So guys, that has been my part 2 to this vlog so far, and I will get back to you when I've got to 300 pages. So thank you for watching. As always, comment down below, let me know, have you read this book, and are you enjoying this whole setup of the vlog that I'm doing? I think I'll do it this way. It's probably easier for me to do it in clips rather than, as I said, remembering what I've read in 100 pages. So yeah, let me know what you think about it down below, and if you've read this book, we can have a discussion about it down below. And yeah, try to steer clear from spoilers, because I've only got to 200 pages, or 209. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.